So can you tell me what is the difference between like double equal and triple equal operators in JavaScript?
Yeah, basically double equal operator will do the type conversion. Type version. Basically, what it does is if we have given a string or a number, if we have given a number on the left hand side and the string on the right hand side, basically it also checks the value and it also checks it converts the type of that value and checks the whether it is equal or not. Basically, triple equal to what it does is it doesn't convert the type. It checks the current type whether it is equal or not. And also the value is it checks the value whether it is equal or not.
Okay. Okay. So can you explain the scope chain in JavaScript?
Scope.
Yeah, scope chain.
Scope chain.
Yeah.
There is global scope or the function scope and the block scope.
Okay. So have you used Clojure in real-time projects?
Clojure, I have used. Not in the real-time project, but when I am practicing JavaScript at that time, I have done a project. There, I have used the function Clojure.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the advantage of Clojure?
Advantage of Clojure. Advantage of Clojure. Basically, the way we use closures are inside a function, we will define something, and in that function, it returns a function or it calls a function. Basically, that inside function can access the arguments of the parent function. So the advantage will be not getting the advantages as well.
Okay, no worry. So what is the can you tell me difference between set timeout and set interval in JavaScript?
Set timeout, basically it both are asynchronous functions. Basically set timeout, what it does is it takes an function and it also takes an delay. Basically when we run a set timeout, it runs the function after delay. Whereas set interval, it also similarly takes the function and an interval of time in milliseconds. Basically, set interval, what it does is it after every interval of that specified time which has taken the second argument, it runs that function.
Okay, so what will happen in case of set timeout, set interval, we are giving a 0 millisecond delay. So how they
0 millisecond delay?
Yeah, how they will behave?
After 0 seconds, immediately it set timeout prints the whatever, it runs the function inside what we have given in the first argument. Similarly, set interval after every time it runs the function.
Okay. So is it possible really in set interval giving a 0 in practical point of view?
Yes, we can give 0.
Okay, in practical point of view, the minimum practical interval. What would be the minimal practical interval?
Hmm? Minimum, I have no idea.
Okay.
We can use 0. But
Okay. Where do you mostly use REST operators?
rest operators.
Yeah.
I've never heard of rest operators. Can you give more detail about it?
So there are two types. One is REST and one is spread. You have not used it.
Okay, those are called rest operator. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Basically, first one is we can basically what it does it the spread operator. What it does it takes the if it is an array or object. When we use a spread operator and use that object, basically it opens up that object or an array, and the values in it will be created in a new array or object with the same values directly without using any for loop or like that thing. We can directly use the spread operator. Similarly, for it will open up the reverse is the other operator.
Okay. How does JavaScript handle memory management and garbage collection?
Garbage collection, does it handle? I have no idea. Actually, I have know the definitions, but how it manage, I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. Have you created like a responsive web design?
Yeah, I have created.
So how you create responsive web design?
Basically, we'll keep multiple breakpoints for different device sizes. Basically, like for example, for a laptop, let's take the width is 1200 pixel, and for let's say tablet, it is around 700 pixel, and for mobile,
So that
it
is
will be
yeah, that is telling media query, right?
using media query. I have designed for the different breakpoints using media query. We can design the responsibility.
Okay. So have you heard about mobile first approach?
Yeah.
So what is mobile first approach?
Basically, what is mobile first? I was also I used mobile first approach in every project actually. Basically, we will start building the project or the whatever it is in a website or everything. Basically, we'll start from the mobile device first, and basically we'll increment, and then we upgrade it to the next level tablet and desktop.
Okay.
Because the users are more in the mobile in the world, so for because why we'll use mobile first approach is basically users are more using mobile devices in this world. So first, like in the software development cycle, we'll release some phases kind of thing. So in first phase, we can release if the deadline is we can release for the mobile first, and then we can release other devices.
Okay. How do you approach debugging and troubleshooting issues in web development projects mainly?
One thing is there is developer tools in the browser. Due to that, we can do debugging, and we can also sometimes we can use a debugger keyword in our project where directly when it runs our project locally, it stops at the debugger. And if we have any doubt there, we can check it and immediately at that point. And we can also keep multiple debuggers where we can say that if our code is not running properly, if we know that there may be mistake in this line or this line, we can keep debuggers and use that browser developer tools and check it immediately. And we can also sometimes console log also work in some cases as a debugger.
Okay. Okay, let's have some React questions. So what is like you have used functional component or class based component?
Functional component.
Yeah, functional component and difference between functional component and class based components.
Functional components, the major difference is the boilerplate. I mean, the number of lines of the code. In functional components, there are inbuilt keywords for using state or using use effect. Main is use effect. Whereas in class-based components, use effect, there is no keyword like use effect. There are functions we need to call when the component mounts or component unmounts, and in that function we need to write the function code. And there are for every these functions we can eliminate them and directly use effect. Like for the similar purpose, there is only one keyword we need to use effect in the function components. Whereas in class-based components, we need to write those functions and call those functions. There are also hooks. Majorly in functional-based components, they have introduced hooks, whereas in class-based components there are no hooks kind of thing. We need to manually define everything.
Okay, so what are the hooks you have used mostly?
I have used use state hook, use effect hook, use ref hook, and sometimes use callback hook and use memo hook.
Okay, so how are you using memo hook?
Use memo hook is basically used for skipping recalculation thing. Basically, it takes two arguments. One is the function and a function which returns something, and a function which does some.
Hello.
The memo, right? Basically, it takes two arguments. Basically, what we use memo does is it skips the recalculation. It's used for skipping the recalculation. Basically, it takes two arguments. One is it takes a function which does some recalculation thing, and it does some calculation. And the second is the dependency array, where we'll pass some variables. Use memo does is it checks the only returns and only runs the function. Only recalculation is done based upon the function when the dependency array variable changes, or it will return the previous value itself.
Okay. So can you tell me difference between control component and uncontrolled component React forms?
Control. I have never used forms actually. No idea.
You have not used a control component, input, text area, select, these things you have not used?
Okay, those are called. Sorry, I have used input, text area. Yeah.
What is the difference between controlled and uncontrolled component?
Actually, I have no idea what is meant by controlled and uncontrolled components.
Okay. Do you know code splitting in React?
Code splitting.
Yeah.
Like parent to child, like that. I mean, basically, we'll divide a component. We can divide a component into multiple components. The parent component, I mean, the first component will be the parent, and it can have multiple children. Basically, if a particular code is used multiple times, basically we can convert that into the child component, and we can directly use the child component multiple times in the parent component.
Okay.